What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video. And in today's video, I want to talk about something I feel is very important in the game. And I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of people are missing it. Let's talk about composition versus, I don't know what you want to, versus might. We'll just call it that way. Okay. Because here's what I see. I see a lot of people who will just, go into their champions, pick the strongest champions or the rarest champions, right? We want as many mythics as we can get or as many legendaries as we can get and put them on the board and then wonder why they're struggling. So that's what I did here. I spared you the pain of having to watch me level up all this stuff and add skills to it. Okay, so I'm replicating kind of the typical situation I've seen in Discord or questions that I've got or, experiences I've seen in which, so basically I took my strongest as far as like power goes champions, but I also did a comp with it, right? So I took a tank, a warrior, an assassin, and 2 mages, essentially. So we're going to take them, we're going to drop them on the board in that kind of traditional setup, okay? And we're just going to see, like, these are legitimately my strongest champions if you're taking, like, position into account, okay? Now, you could do some different things here, right? We could run 2 tanks instead of the warrior. We could run 2 tanks, the warrior, 1 mage, 1 assassin. There's a lot of different variations we could do, but this is kind of my general point will be shown with this. Now, if I were to take this comp, I would probably switch these 2 here. I'd put the assassin in the middle, leave the mage on the back line. But we can do a couple of different things when we do this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run this through and we're going to watch and see what happens. Again, these are the strongest champions I have that make up a quote unquote traditional comp just based off of the might and rarity. You see, we got 2 mythics, 3 legendaries. So that is what we're replicating. That's what we're looking at right now, because that's what I see a lot of people do, or a lot of people recommend when they look at another person's champion pool. Okay, so let's jump into this and we'll watch and see what happens here. All right, so we see that did not work out very well, but maybe it was my formation, right? So let's try putting the assassin on the back line, and we'll swap the tank and the warrior. That way we have tank versus tank, warrior versus warrior, and just give it a shot that way. Let's see what happens if we run it back, all right? Well, that didn't work either. And so you're starting to see my point. But belligerent, wait a minute. Look at those level differences. You got a bunch of 183s versus a bunch of 160s. Well, okay, but if I make my point in this video, it will be the same kind of discrepancy for the levels. You see on this account, like, I don't have gold to put I have a little, I can't put gold on anybody else. These guys are all 4 stars. So the levels can't go higher than 160 except for the guy in the middle. And I don't have enough gold to push his level up any higher. So, like I said, if we do this, it's going to be with the same amount of gold. So let's see if I can prove my point now. All right, we're back. We have a new comp, one that is built with purpose in mind, with how they complement each other and work together in mind, not just who's the rarest or who's the mightiest. Okay, so we can look at this comp. Yes, I have one character that goes up to 161 instead of how they were all at 160. If that's what you're going to scream about, okay. He just has more stars, so he could go up one level past 160. But you see, like, we essentially have the same levels. If you look at the might of the previous team was 450,000. The might of this team is 386,000. So the other team had more might than this team has. But this team has composition and purpose, how they work together. So let's jump into this and take a look and see if this works better. Well, it looks like to me that worked out just fine. Even with the weaker composition as far as might is concerned, even with less legendaries involved. We have 2 epics instead of 3 legendaries like we had last time. Okay, it was the same exact stage. We had 70,000 less might. So my point is composition is greater than color. It doesn't matter whether your team is red, orange, purple, green, blue. Composition is greater than color, than rarity. Composition is also greater than might. Don't forget, okay, so let's go back here. I want to show you something here, okay? When we go in here and you look at their power, okay? All these things that are strong, just because they have high might doesn't mean they have useful might, okay? This one is really mighty, but if you look at her skills, she has healthy, she has scrappy. These are defensive traits. Bestial, like this is a marksman. None of this helps her kit. So don't be fooled by the might. She has 19,000 might, which puts her among my top 9 in might. Actually, probably even less than that, or higher than that in my top might if I were to reset all these levels and make everybody a level 1. Okay, so if you take everybody in your champion pool and you reset them all to level 1 and you sort it by power, you're going to see how everybody is with their might, okay? This marksman I just showed you is my 6th mightiest champion. But that doesn't mean she's good. This does not make her it doesn't make her a good champion. If you need kind of a guide along about which champions you should be using, go check out my tier list video. That's still relatively, I would probably make a couple of tweaks to it, but it's going to put you in the right direction, okay? But also, like, might means nothing. Like I said, if we look at her traits, even if this was a good champion, these aren't good traits, so she's not going to be a good champion, but she has, right, they assign different might values to different traits. Okay, some of these, I don't know who, I'm not going to find. Like this one right here. This one is so mighty, but part of that is because I think they give a high might rating to the leadership traits, because that seems to really raise people up in the might standings. Okay, look, the Fulgur that I just used in the composition that I showed you is below this one. Why? She has confidence. Below this one that has no useful skills for a marksman. So be careful, especially if you're asking for help in a Discord channel or you're trying to figure it out yourself. Like, think about how they work well together, more so than who's the strongest and who has the best color. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Composition is greater than color. Just remember that rule. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like this video, please leave me a like. It only takes you one click.
Slow so
Tell
you
your
can try and
friends.
catch everything.
I'm Belligerent. Feel free to drop me a
as it
message if you
goes.
want.
So the fight
Peace.
starts. We get the shields here from the line.